Hey guys, welcome to Snowbreak Containment Zone, and we're here to break down everything about Fritia Turbo Hare and if she is a pass or a pull. Okay, let's start off with taking a look at her kit, guys, and we will be looking at her most important skill, which is her standard skill, Bounding Sun. So this skill has two parts. It has a passive. So when Fritia dodges, take note before we go further, the cooldown is just 2 seconds and the energy cost is 5. So this is really intended for you to spam this one. So when Fritia dodges, enter Celestial Turbo Sprinting state for 2 seconds. Reloading does not affect this state, but falling will interrupt it. Okay, so you can literally reload while you are sprinting, so it doesn't affect your sprinting at this point. So while in Celestial Turbo state, gain 6 supercharge for every 0.1 seconds dodging again, while in this state will refresh its duration. Leaving the field clears all supercharge. For every 2% increase or decrease in stamina recovery, supercharge acquisition rate increases or decreases by 1% respectively, up to 50%. So here's the active part. So when supercharge is 40 or greater, Fritia can use her standard skill to enter Super Shot Stance. So this is when you click your standard skill already. She cannot move while in the stance, but final damage taken decreases by 20%. Honestly, 20% is not enough. They should decrease the damage taken further. Okay, and hip fire shots have an aim assist tracking frame that enables the shot to automatically lock onto the target part closest to the crosshair in the frame. Take note, even though if this locks, you still have to choose a target within a boss, within a mob, or a weakness perhaps. So you still need to move the auto locking system on the weakness probably, or a specific part that you want to toggle or that you want to target. Again, it really requires quickness as well as high skill level for you to be able to track where you want to hit specifically a mob or a boss. Okay, so moving forward, while in Super Shot Stance, if Fritia uses standard skill again, dodges, reloads, or supercharges less than 40, she will exit Super Shot Stance. While in Super Shot Stance, Fritia shots consumes 40, supercharge rate is increased by 120. Take note, base crit damage is fixed at 100, and weapon compatibility is specially fixed after existing Super Shot Stance. Bounding Sun cooldown starts. Supercharge limit is at 140, so every 40 is actually one shot that you could shoot, so that's a maximum of 20. So Super Shot Stance weapon compatibility is going to be at 245%. So recovers 15 stamina for each shot in the Super Shot Stance. When equipped with a chaos weapon, standard skill doesn't consume S energy and cooldown decreases to 1 second. So these are your neural skills. We'll go to Heart Cinder. This is a support skill. Quickly releases. Fritia runs toward the target once within a certain distance from the target or after 1.5. Unleashes one divine crash and dealing chaos damage to all targets in range, leaping backward. So this basically is just an add-on to her kit. You won't be using her in a supporting role as much. She will be more of your primary DPS damage dealer. Okay, and her ultimate is going to be Cascading Light. When supercharge is 40 or greater, meaning there are 3 lit up icons on your screen, which I will point out later. Each one, again, each supercharge is equivalent to 1 bullet. For this one, for the ultimate, you need the supercharge as well to trigger the ultimate. And of course, if you have a supercharge of 120 it would deal a much bigger damage. So consumes all supercharged to fire 1 God Bane, pulls in front, dealing chaos damage when consuming above 40. So increases damage, as you can see here. God Bane pulls damage when consuming 40 charge. 340% of Fritia's attack plus 234. My only concern actually with the ultimate, although it's really nice for clearing out mobs and the U energy cost it is at 0. The shooting mechanism of the ultimate skill is like an arc. It shoots like a crossbow, so it goes straight and then goes down. You really actually have to master the distance between the mobs and you, because sometimes when you shoot and if you don't know the distance, then you overshoot the shooting of the ultimate. So that's it. That is actually my comment for this skill. So natural skills: damage dealt by Godbane Pulse can be affected by ballistic damage bonus, recovers 30 stamina after using ultimate skill. And finally, we have here the Dewa's alignment. For each 1 ammo capacity equipped. Okay, so maximum ammo for this, I think, is at 12, if I'm not mistaken. Increases for the gun, right? For the orange tier gun. Increases Fritia chaos damage by 3%, up to 20 stacks. For each 100 alignment index, ratio increases by 0.5. So this is going to be a buff for chaos damage. I'm actually curious on the weapon that I have here. Ammo capacity, no, not 12. It's going to be 9. So take note of that. It's going to affect your Devos alignment for Fritia Turbo Hare. Let's do a demo on how, a rough play style of how she's going to be moving around, and I'll explain to you guys some other thoughts that I have while we are doing a little bit of that demo. Okay guys, so I'm using Fritia without any support so that we could benchmark really what she can do. So as you charge up and use her standard skill, before firing you can technically choose where to shoot. See, you can target the body, you can target the head. You actually just have to be careful because sometimes you might miss targeting the weak spot of a boss, a mob. So you have to make sure of that. As you can see, if the boss is moving, sometimes you would miss the weak spot. Especially if your target's far away, a little movement of your hand would definitely move you from the weak spot. As you see there, even the recoil of the gun moves you far away from the weak spot of a boss. You can actually spam this skill, but I think accuracy would not be as good. You really have to make sure that every bullet counts for, for each of your supercharge. There you go. So I'll do my pros and cons and give you my last recommendations before we end. Okay guys, so here are my thoughts. Let's start with the cons. So to play Fritia, you really have to have at least above average in sniping skill. There is sniping still involved because your auto aim, if there are parts within a boss or weak spots, you have to make sure that you're hitting weak spots, because if you're not hitting weak spots, definitely the damage won't be that big. So again, above average for the skill level is needed. Multi-part, weakness, and mobs as well. Mobs, sometimes you don't want to shoot a lot of bullets with one target, because sometimes with one bullet you could actually take out a mob. Again, it requires a lot of coordination, so skill level for using her is going to be high, especially if you want to maximize damage in aiming for parts, broken parts, and for weakness. Okay, so the 3 bullet limit definitely should increase, because charging is going to limit your chain attacks, because once you shoot the 3, then you need to charge, then you shoot the 3 again. So it takes a while to charge, and that's really limiting her chain attacks. So if they could increase probably it to 5 or to 6, that would be great, because again, it would have more, she would have more opportunities to chain attacks at this point. She also is going to be fragile because of max HP. It's not a big, it's only 26,546, and she is built this way because of how agile she is. You just have to take care of her and making sure that she doesn't get hit, or you have a healer accompanying Fritia Turbo Hare. You will need definitely the orange tier weapon. As you can see here, I'm just gonna be enumerating the buffs and the damage. So increased chaos damage is going to be present here. Then this one is going to be important. The decreased stamina cost of dodge by 75% is way better than the 4-star variant, which we will go to later. So this is for 75%. Then we have ballistic damage of 30 and 18 here. So this is just at tier 1. Just want to make sure that you understand that these are not the final buffs, because when you reach tier 2, these the 3 will increase the chaos damage and the 2 ballistic damage, but the cost of the stamina cost of dodge, the decreased stamina cost, will remain at 75. So let's take a look at the other weapon, which I actually built. So this one, let's confirm this. This one has a decrease of stamina cost, but it's only 25%, which is a very big difference. That is why if you want to chain a lot of shots and we want to charge consistently, definitely you will need the orange tier weapon. This one has 25%, plus it has 2 buffs of ballistic damage of 18 here and 18 here. So definitely the other weapon is going to be different. As you can see, as you reach tier 2, the decrease in stamina cost doesn't change. So I would assume that even if you reach tier 5, this one won't go up. Okay, so again, it would be best that you would have to invest on Sonic Flash, her orange tier weapon. Okay, and I think the last thing that I want to remind you guys, the ultimate skill takes getting used to, because it fires in an arc. It goes straight and goes down. It's like shooting a grenade or an RPG, not an RPG, but a grenade launcher, wherein you have to arc it. But it has a very significant damage. But again, the risk of missing, it's really up to the skill of the shooter to assess how far you are from a couple of mobs in front of you. So those are the cons. The pros really of using her is she's really fun to use. If you know the skill rotation, which we will discuss in another video, how to really optimize on how to use her. And she does really have a high damage. You just have to hit the weak spots and to choose the weak spots of the enemies that you are sniping, and you have to play her accurately. If you really want to invest in her and that's the only way that you could do it if you want to increase her damage output. The gun need to have this at tier 2. Manifestations, the M1 is going to be increasing the weapon's compatibility by 30%, which increase the damage of the weapon, of course. And M2 is going to be, after dodging, increases crit damage amplifier of shots by 25%, another increase in damage. And M3 is going to be ignoring target's chaos resistance, but if you really want to get a massive damage out of her, you have to have her at M5. So increase attack by 20%. I'm sure she's going to be dealing crazy amounts of damage even with 3 bullets for her full charge. So right now with M0, she's actually decent. You actually have a lot of options for her in terms of support that can amplify her damage. One is going to be Fanny Starshine. So Fanny Starshine, again, ballistic damage buffer top that you can use. You can actually use Kaguya, Akasha Kaguya, if you want to decrease elemental resistance. And you can actually use Mauxer as well. So if you plan to buff that damage, you can use her as well. If also you will need a healer, you will be probably using Ichel, or I would also recommend using this girl, Chenxing the Observer, because either Ichel or her can heal you. She has buffs, she has heals, and the heals actually reach you wherever you are. And I think she has all of the pluses. If you bring Yao, definitely you're going with healing only. But if you bring Chenxing, it's gonna be buffs and it's also going to be heals. Okay, so with that said, let's go with the scenarios here if you're planning to pull for her. Okay, so if you are free to play and if you're looking for a DPS ballistic damage dealer, she is actually good, especially if you don't have any ballistic DPS right now and you are free to play or you're just beginning the game. She is going to be nice, but I'm just gonna give you a big but here. Life Infinite Sight will have her rerun in this patch as well. I think it's going to be 3 weeks from now, if I'm not mistaken. 3 weeks or a month from now. No, 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now. So if you're considering in investing on a DPS ballistic damage dealer, I would suggest that you go with Life instead of Fritia. But if you already have Life, you definitely go with her, especially if you're needing another ballistic DPS damage dealer. So both of them, especially if you have Fanny SS, both of them can be buffed by Fanny SS. Okay, but again, if hands down you really like Fritia and you are a fan and you find her kit fun, then definitely it's going to be a yes. Because as you are going to invest in her long term, definitely she is going to deal a lot of damage. Again, the caveat there is investment. If you want to invest in her, then you have to go all in for her to deal massive damage. So I hope that helps you guys in deciding whether you're going to be pulling for her or not. So that is it. Comment down in the comment section what do you think of my assessment, and take care guys, stay safe. This is the Warden and I'm out of here.